Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live class. This is a class that is tailored for you to learn how to code and build mobile apps in Flutter. So what we are going to cover is we are going to start from the beginning, and we are going to take it from ground up. And the goal of this class is that at the end of these 4 days live classes, you'll be able to have written a mobile app in Flutter, and it will have introduced you to mobile app development. And the technology that we are using is Flutter. And I'm going to introduce that soon, but for now, I just need to do some introductions, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, so the goal of this boot camp is to introduce you to mobile development with Flutter, and then you're going to learn the technology behind mobile framework that we are using, which is Dart, and then we are going to learn how to build the mobile app itself with Flutter, and then we are going to build a mobile app at the end of this bootcamp. And also the goal is to create a community of learners. That's why I dropped a Discord community link so that you can join. And if you have any questions after this bootcamp, you can always ask. And then I'm going to help you with a learning path to Flutter. And yeah, so who is behind this? My name is Temi Ajiboye, and I have 6 years of experience building mobile apps, engineering generally. And I have 3 years experience building with Flutter. And I have about 10 plus apps on the Play Store. Some of them have over 50,000 downloads and the likes. I've worked with brands across multiple verticals. I've worked in a bank, I've worked in healthcare, I've worked in built app for real estate and the likes. And I love to teach people how to code. And also I have a community of learners in our Discord. So I'm the founder of Code Clan Nigeria, where we teach people how to code. So I think you are in good hands. Yeah. So that is the introduction, and then we can get into the nitty-gritty of this class. Let's stop sharing for a while, and then we'll share. Yeah, it's super exciting. I'm going to share my entire screen so you can see inside. All right, let's go to Twitter. Okay, so this is the technology we are going to be using for our development. And the technology is so powerful that you can build apps for any screen. You can build for desktop, you can build for mobile, you can build for Linux, you can build for macOS, you can build and the likes. You can build multi-platform. And it's pretty good because number one, it helps you to easily build beautiful UIs. And you can build it across mobile, web, desktop, and the like. Give me a minute. Let's see if I can on my video. So it doesn't look like I'm talking to. Okay, you should be able to see me now. Great. So it helps you to build mobile apps across desktop, web, and the likes. And this technology is created by Google, and they made it open source. What it means open source is that people can contribute to it and make it really strong. So it's not that it's exclusive to Google, where Google will wake up one day and kill it off. So they make it open source such that even they don't have the monopoly to kill it off. So people can always contribute to it. And it is pretty popular because if you go to GitHub, GitHub is a central place where codes are pushed to. That's the basic definition. If you go to GitHub, this is the home of Flutter. And this is the Flutter framework itself. You can see it has over 5,000 issues. Pull request means that people are contributing to the framework, as about 178. And if you look here, you can see that it has 146K stars. That means that people love it, and a lot of people are using this. So what it means for you is that you are in safe hands and you can learn it because a lot of people are using this. Good. And a couple of companies are using it actually. Google Pay used Flutter for their mobile payments, and you can see Toyota, Sonos, Linux use this stuff, and it's pretty good. But if you are going to get started, you need to learn programming itself. So Flutter is a framework, but then there is something that powers that framework. Let's see if we can close this code for now before it disturbs us. So you need to learn the framework itself, and then you first learn the technology behind the framework. And the technology behind the framework is what we call Dart, D-A-R-T, and it's Dart programming. So we are going to start with Dart programming. I'm going to teach you how to write code in Dart. So even if you're a beginner, you will learn some of the basic things you need to know before you now start writing Flutter. Okay, that being said, I want to introduce you to a couple of tools that you probably will need. Okay, so there's a site called Dartpad, or you can just type flutter.new on your address bar, and it will take you to this screen. This is a screen for testing your Dart code, D-A-R-T code. So if you have a code that you want to write, you can always test that here. It's online, it's on the web, and you can use it. So we'll probably be using this in this class, hopefully. There is another one that you can see from the header here. It's saying that you can build Flutter applications on the web. And you need to be able to connect your GitHub profile before you can join this. So you can use this as well. But the one I recommend is called FluteLab. Let's leave this. FluteLab.io. This is the one that I would recommend, and we are going to be using this extensively in this class because I understand that some of us don't have the required computing power to run mobile apps, because actually you need, let's see. So let's say you want to install Flutter on your computer. So let's say we want to pick Windows. It's going to tell you that you need some system requirements. And then if you look at it, you need Windows 10 or later. You need to have, of course, people should have this disk space. Now it tells you that you need these tools, you need Git, you need PowerShell. But it doesn't tell you about the RAM. But from building, you need at least 8 gig of RAM on your computer. So because you'll be running something we call emulators. And what it means is that, let me show you what an emulator looks like, so that you get exactly what I'm saying. Okay, so you can see this is an emulator. An emulator, this, we call it an Android emulator. What it means is that it mimics your Android phone. So when we build apps on a computer like this, we run it on this sort of emulators. And you can see you have your normal Google icon, this stuff here. And we also have the one for iOS. We call it a simulator. You can see I don't have the iPhone 14 Pro Max, unless you guys want to contribute to buying it. But then I can build app and mimic it on this simulator, and it will look like it's running on a real iPhone 14 Pro Max. So this is what it is. Now, your computer might not be able to take the much computing power to run all this stuff. So you can use this this Flute Lab online IDE, call it IDE, to actually run your project. So for example, this is a sample project. So you can just go to flutelab.io. So let me copy that and drop in the chat. Okay, flutelab.io, and you can create an account. I think you've seen my faces enough. Take that off. So you can just create an account there. So because we will be using it extensively in this tutorial. Good. Okay, so when you create, let's say I want to start from the beginning. And oh, great. Let me log out. Let's log in. Do I remember what I used to? Okay. So if you want to create an account, sorry, you can just enter your name, password, and stuff. And if you are logging in, I'm going to log in with my account. Yeah, I'm in my project, in my workspace. Now I can create a new project and just enter a project name. Let's say bootcamp, let's call it bootcamp. And okay, so you want to have a package name. There's a default package name here. But for now, I think you are allowed not to enter anything for now, but you can change the package name later. It's saying we need to choose a code base. So let's just choose the first one, stateless hello world, and just create that. And clicking on that will bring us here. If you have questions, you can always drop them in your in the comments, and I'll be able to check them. Okay, so we are here, and what you want to do, you remember that I ran this Android emulator. So what you want to do is you can just click on build project, make sure the web is selected, and just click on it. It's going to build, and you see what happens. So it takes a while to do. And it's going to build that for you. So let's wait for it to build, because after that, we now start our tutorials proper. We have 2 hours and we spent 20 minutes already. Okay, build is complete, and it's uploading your code to an emulator. Let's see if we have comments. Okay, when I say package name, it means the name of the app itself. So when you upload an app on the store, each app is recognized from the other using the package name. So package name has to be unique, and when you enter that package name and you push to the store, it is recognized that this package name is for this app exactly. So just think of it as a name for an app. It's a unique name for an app, and it has a way they write it. We are going to go into details later, but it's really not important at this point. Okay, so now we have Flute Lab running, and you can see it gave us an emulator that looks like, this. Oh, did I click on something? Then it looks like this, exactly, and looking like that. It's building again. I think I hit my hand on something. Okay, while that is building, I'm going to drop this link because we are going to be using this link for learning the programming language behind Flutter itself. Let me drop this link here and you can always follow. Yeah, can you help us record this class? It's recording, so that's good. Okay, so in this tutorial, we are going to be looking at the basic parts of Dart programming itself. So we are going to be looking at some basics. We are going to be learning what is a variable, what are the data types, operators. We're going to be looking at these functions, classes. And if you know this, you'll be able to move ahead in Flutter and be able to build a mobile app. So just make sure to follow me and we'll get there. Also, you can also learn Dart programming here. So we are going to be using these piece of materials interchangeably. And let me drop that, and you can always follow through as well. Okay, so this has finished building, and you can see we have an emulator here. So let's say we want to change, let's change this to orange, for example. And see this thing changed to orange. Yay, we just written our first mobile app. So let's say hello bootcamp here. All these things will become clear later because we are starting from scratch. And you can see we have hello bootcamp here. And let's say hello people here. And it's good. That's the title. It won't show here. Let's go here. So we have hello people here. It looks interesting, right? Okay, so that's Flutter. Someone is asking if there's a recording. Yes, there is. Okay, so let's go inside. So we are going to be looking at it. So I'm going to make it as simple as possible. So all this English will not scare you. I'm going to explain it the best way I can explain it. Okay, so let's go to our Flute Lab here. I hope everyone is following. Do you have your Flute Lab open, please? If you have, you can, please, you can write in the comments so that I'll know we are following. Yes, great. If you have problems with Flute Lab, you can let me know. Someone is saying that can I be a bit audible? I hope everyone can hear me. Yes, if you are using FluteLab, please make sure to register and sign in. It's good to have that so that you will be able to come back to your code. It's saved online. And for some of you that have Flutter installed on your computers, I don't want to go into installing Flutter on your computer here. If you want to know and have visuals installing Flutter, you can go to our Discord and I will do my best to help you out. In fact, I'll put some links there to help you install Flutter on your machine. But for now, we can use FluteLab and we'll be good to go. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take from here. You can see there is a void main something here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take from here down here, and I'm going to delete it like this. I'm going to delete this one as well, so that we'll be left with something like this. So I will be left with something like this, like it is on that pad. If you have that pad, it will look like this. Let's create a new pad actually. It will look like this. Okay, because so when you see void main here, when you create a new Flutter project or a new Dart project, you always see void main, which is what it means is that it is the entry point of your application. So it's like the beginning, it's where everything is starting from. So for writing a Dart program, you need to have these entry points in your program. So make sure that you have void main, this main keyword, make sure that you have that, and because it is the entry point of your program. So let's move ahead, and we are going to be talking about variables. So before we go there, let me show you something. There's something we call keyword. In any programming language, there's something we call keywords. Keywords are particular to every program, and they usually make things happen. So when they say there's a keyword, it means that it is part of the programming language and it makes things happen. For example, we are going to be using this keyword print a lot. It's just like you're printing something on a printer. So we are going to be sending things inside this print. What we want it to do is that anything we put inside this print, we want to be able to see it, that it prints it out. It needs to be printed out. So let's say we are printing something. I want to print hello world inside here. After you have written a statement in Dart, you need to make sure you put a semicolon there. So it's important that you have a semicolon at the back of every keyword that you've written in Dart. So now we have hello world. And if you go to your run tab here, you will see that there is something here that shows hello world. What it means is that we have printed hello world on our console like this, hello world. So we can change it, and welcome to our bootcamp. And when I save, make sure you hit Control S on your computer, Control S. You will be able, it will auto reload. It will auto reload, and you will see it here. So that's good. Okay, now that you know what print is, now let's go to the next one. there's something called variables in Dart. So what are variables? Look at variables as a bucket. So we have a bucket. How do you draw? Okay, let's say this one is a bucket. Now you want to store something in a bucket. And something that you're storing in this bucket can change. It can be anything. So we want to store an orange, we want to store fruits, we want to store food, we want to store anything inside here. And so we call it variables. So it means that there are things that can change. They can change you can always change them. So now let's go back here. And if you want to declare a variable, we use a keyword called var. So let's test that. So now we come here and say, I want to declare a variable. I want to declare a bucket. I want to create a new bucket. And so I use the keyword var to create that bucket. And I say, what I want this bucket to depict is that I want it to hold age. I want it to depict an age so that I can add an age, let's say 32, and then I add this age into this bucket, basically. So you can say var age, so we are creating a bucket called age equals to 32. So because if you are going to be doing some operations in your programming language, like let's say you have a bank application. Look at it that you have a bank mobile application, and you say you want to send money to an account. When you open your wallet, you see that I have $200 in this wallet. Now I want to send, out of this $200, I want to send $50 to another account. That means that you are removing money from that account and sending to another account. But look at your wallet as you creating this variable. So basically, I can say that I have a wallet. I'm creating a wallet. And how much do I have in the wallet? I have $320 in the wallet. So now let's say I want to show that wallet to a customer on the app. So I can easily print that. I can say print wallet. And when I hit save, you can see it's printing the wallet here, 320. When we get to Flutter, you will see how to actually show this on the screen. And when you build a mobile app on your phones, you'll be able to see that this is not magic. It's just you are writing a code. Let's see if you have questions. People are saying, okay. So if you're having network issues, you can always come back. I'm teaching from scratch. I mentioned it that it's beginner friendly, so it's totally beginner friendly, and yeah, it's good. There's a QA here. You can always leave your questions for later. We will continue. Okay, so now we have done this, and we can continue. Okay, so now we are, you know what is variable now? It's just like anything that holds a value. That's like a variable, and they tend to change. For example, I can say I'm creating another variable called name, something to hold my name, and I will say Temi Ajiboye. something like this. So in the print, I can say name, I can say name has wallet. And let's save that. Look at what is printing now. You say Temi Ajiboye has 320. Let's add his account. You can see something is printing here that says Temi Ajiboye has 320 in his wallet. Let's see if I can increase this so you guys can see it a little bit. So now what I've done is I've created a variable that holds my money, which is 320, and I've created another variable that holds my name, and I'm printing it. If you want to print a variable on the console, you just add this $sign behind the variable. So you have dollar and name, has dollar and wallet. It will show the value instead. If you don't add it, let's say I remove this, it's going to just print name has, you can see name has 320 in its account. But once you put the dollar, it's going to show the value instead. So now when I save, it's going to show Temi Ajiboye has 320 in his account. So that's how to create variables. Now there's something called data types. Data types are basically, so you said you are creating a bucket, which is a variable, but you are saying data type means that in this bucket, I want, so let's say we have a variable here, we have a bucket that we have created, but then we are saying that in this bucket, let's see, I want only oranges in this bucket. That means that you can't have mangoes here. So if you have, let's say you have oranges, you have mangoes, and this is not the right mangoes. I think it's this, yeah. So let's say you have oranges, mangoes. You can't have oranges and mangoes in the same place. It's not going to allow you. So instead, you need to create another bucket and say this bucket is for mangoes. So if you create a bucket for oranges, only oranges has to be there. If you create a bucket for mangoes, only mangoes has to be there. Now let's make it an equivalent here on Dart. So let's look at the data types that we have. We have data type called int. So let's look at an int. Int. It means integers. It means numbers. So when you tell Dart that I want to declare only integers, what it means is that only integers can be set to that variable that I have created. Let's see what I mean. So here now, if you look at it properly, 320 is an integer. What it means is that I have created a wallet and of integer that is only integer numbers. Integer numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till till 1 million, trillions, whatever. So now there is another data type that is called double. So let's create a double. You just use the keyword double and you say double takes, let me show you double now. What can I call it? So let's say you want to have a double and you can have double, we have a dot. That's floating, they are floating point numbers. If you know what it means, it basically means that you can have a dot inside it, a decimal inside of it. So you can have 23.3. You can see like this. This is double. You can have 0.3. Now for int, you cannot have a decimal in there. If I try to put a decimal, it's going to be angry. You can see this underline something in there. It's already complaining that you cannot put oranges and mangoes together. It means that you have created a variable called of integer. You are telling me that this variable that you have created is going to only take integers. So I don't know why you are trying to put a double value inside of it. So that's why it's complaining, it's angry. And you can see the error here. A value of type double can't be assigned to a variable of type int. It's telling you that, oh no, this is not acceptable. So what it means is that if you want it to be acceptable, you have to create something that it can accept, which means that you have created double like this. Great. I hope we are following. Okay, somebody's somebody's arguing in the comments. Sorry. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So we have bool. Let's look at bool. Bool is basically true or false. Boolean. You want to know if something is true or false. You declare Boolean. Is my money, and you can say it's true, or you can say it's false. It's basically true or false. It has two values. So it's just like you're telling it. So anytime you see Boolean, it's given to reserve. Okay, let's see what this is. It gives you two reserve words, true and false. It tells you that if it is true or not. So you can only pass in true or false inside it. And the next one will be string. String will take anything. And let's declare a string, my name, and call it my name. Now, if you want to put a string here, you have to use the, what is this called? Is it quotation? Yeah. You have to use the quotation here. I hope I can. You already took it off. Okay, you can see the quotation here. You have to put some, like we did here. It's either it's single quotation or you can do double quotation. So my name is Temi. And then you can do single quotation. This is also valid. You can do double quotations as well. So that's string. So we have looked at data types. I've seen int, double, bool, string, which is good. You have any questions for me? If not, I can continue. Okay, so let's continue. And I'm going to use this first day to run through that for you. And then I think by tomorrow, we now start properly Flutter. If you have issues understanding this, you can always go back to the recording. The recording will be there. I think I'm recording. Yeah, I'm recording, so you can always see the recording and skip through and make sure that you understand. And also these links, I've dropped it in the comments, so make sure that you check it also after the class. Okay, so let's continue. We've seen Boolean. Okay, so let's go to something we call operators. So there are different types of operators in Dart. We have something we call arithmetic operators, equality operators, increment and decrement, comparison, logical. So I'm going to go through all this for you, and it's pretty simple. So let's go to arithmetic operators now. It's used for doing arithmetic operations. So let's say you want to add two variables together. Let's say you want to minus, you want to multiply, you want to divide, and the likes. So that's basically what it is. Let's see how we can do that. So let's say we have declared a wallet. So let's say we have UBA wallet. You have 320 in your UBA wallet. Okay, let's say you are using a UBA bank. You're using a bank, and this type of account is savers account. And then you have 3,200 naira, for example, there. And then you have another account in UBA that we called UBA Pro Max. And inside here, you have 5,000. Now, how do you add all the accounts? And then you open your mobile app and you say that, oh, I want to see all the money in all my UBA accounts. And you have two accounts in UBA. So how do you know the total? So you can create another variable. You can say total in my UBA account. So now you need to add UBA savers here and use the arithmetic operator plus UBA Pro Max. And if you print total in my UBA account here, and then I save, you can see all the money I have in UBA is 8,200. As simple as that. As you can see, let's delete this. So let's say now I want to send 200 naira to my brother from UBA savers. I can say my balance now. I want to send 200 naira. So if I remove 200, that means you are going to be using minus. It's just basic arithmetic that people selling market sellers know. So basically, you can print out your balance, and when you save that, it's going to remain 3,000. Also, we have other arithmetic ones, like you want to multiply. You can say, if you want to multiply, you use the star on your keyboard. And when you do that, you see it multiplies that. And you can do division, so you can divide. But the problem is, I think there's a note here. For division, that infers the resulting value to be a double. So you can see that I declared this as integer. So because I use division, that is complaining, because there's a chance that anything you use to divide this amount, like your UBA savers account, anything you use to divide it might result in a number that has decimal. So that automatically forces you to set your variable as double here. So when I print my balance, you see that it's 16. So if I divide and it has decimal, it will check out because you've already set it as double. Good. Somebody is saying, will I teach how logic works? I'm basically teaching you logic right now. So these are the knowledge that you are going to be using when you are coding your mobile apps and stuff. So, okay. We are going to equality operators now. What it means is that you want to check if two variables are the same. So let's see. So let's say that, and equality operators always give you true or false. It returns maybe true or false. So let's say we want to compare our accounts now. We need to set, when you want to compare two things, you want to compare two variables, use your equality operator. So let's say I want to compare if my balance in UBA Savers is the same as my balance in UBA Pro Max. So I can say is the same. I want to check if the balance are the same. I can say is my balance in UBA Savers equals to my balance in UBA Pro Max. If I print this, I should get a true or false. You see, I get a false because UBA Savers, of course, is not the same thing as UBA Pro Max. That's how we tell the computer what to do. But let's say I now make it the same and now save it. You can see that it returns true because 3,200 and this, they're the same. Another operator is this. What it means is that is UBA Savers is not equal to UBA Pro Max. This is not equal to. So I'm saying that is this one not equal to this one? But they are equal, so it should return false for me. So let's see. Yeah, it's false because you're already saying that are they not equal? So that is about the equality operators. Now you have the comparison operators. There it's basically less than, greater than, equal to, or greater than. And what it means is that you can say is UBA Savers account, is the balance greater than UBA Pro Max? So let's change this to like 5,000 back. So we are saying that is the balance in UBA Savers greater than the balance in UBA Pro Max? And let's save that. Let's see what it gives us. It's saying false because 32 is not greater than UBA Pro Max. And the other one is the less than. Less than. These are all basic arithmetic that you are taught in class. So I'm just refreshing your memory. Is UBA Savers less than UBA Pro Max? That's true. So you are going to see true here. And equal to, and then you have equal to or greater than, let's see. It's not like this. You are going to do is greater than or equal to. You can also do is less than or equal to. So this one does two operations. It's going to check if the UBA Savers is greater than UBA Pro Max and if they are equal. Something like that. So if you save that, you're supposed to get false because UBA Savers is not greater than this and it is also not equal to this. So we have the other one less than as well. And if you check that, it's just true because it already is less than. So it makes sense. And yes, so let's go to logical operators now. we already talked about comparison operators. Logical operators also works almost the same way, but we have three. We have these logical operators, just two. We have and or. So let's see how that works. So we can say um, let's create a boolean here and say I'll check if UBA savers is equals to UBA promax. We can also say is UBA savers greater than UBA promax, and then we can do a logical operation here and say when you do a logical operation, it also returns a boolean as well. It's really hard naming. Let's just call it check. So we can say that is the same and is greater. So this one will check both arguments and check. So if this is true and if this is true, both of them has to be true for it to return true here. So it's the same. This one is already false, so it's going to return false. So let's save that. You can see it's already false because it's the same is already false here. So it needs this one and this one to be true before it returns true. But if you're doing or, it will check if this is true. If this one is true, it will return true. If this one is false, it will go ahead and check is this one true. So, but is the same is false, is greater here. UBA savers, of course, is not greater. So this one will return false. So let's check. You see it's returning false. But let's say we put is UBA savers less than UBA promax. And then we say it's going to return true because this is true. But because we use the OR operator, it's going to neglect this one because it does not care about that one anymore. As long as one of them is true, it's going to return true. So that is the logical operator. We've talked about string. We talked about string, and I think I'm going to stop at string there. And so we are going to talk about immutability too. Let me check if someone. Do you have questions? If you have questions, you can ask before I go to the next step. Questions? Our tutor is a lover of UBA. No, I am not a lover of UBA. In fact, I hate the bank. And I've not worked for them before. So, are we good to go? Let's go. Okay, so we talk about immutability. So that uses const and final for values that does not change. So if you don't want to change values, we are going to be using const and final. So this part is really important in your coding because if you don't understand this, if you are coding for a customer one day and you don't understand immutability, if you go and send money to a customer and you don't need to send the money, you are your own. So it's important that you know that what is immutability itself, because we are majorly from Nigeria. So some of this English can confuse us. So let's look at the meaning of immutability. So the meaning of immutability in English means that the state cannot change, is unable to change. So that means that when you say something is immutable, it can never change. It's unable to change. It is not supposed to change. You understand? So get that. So when you say mutable, something is mutable. Mutable is mutation. That means it can change. You can mutate the stuff, you can change it, you can do anything you want with it. But once you say it is immutable, it can never change. It can never ever change. It shouldn't change. So let's look at it now. So when you use keywords like const and final in your Dart, you are using it for value that you don't want to change, don't want it to change. So now let's look at it. Use const for value that are known at compile time. What it means is that when you are using const means that you know the value ahead of time. You already know the value from the beginning. For example, you want to calculate area of a circle, and you know that pi is constant anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world it is constant. Or you have a color that you have known from the beginning that you want to use this color in your Flutter app. So you can store that color in a constant. It means that you are not likely to change that color because that is not going to help you change it. That programming is not going to help you change it because you have declared from the start that this cannot change. Let me give you an example. So let's clean here for a while. And let's say const. So remember that we were using var the other time. Let's say UBA save as. So when I save this, I have 3,200. Now, this var means that this variable can change. Can you hear me? Please, I hope. Apologies, my internet just suddenly went off. I had to go fix it back. If you can hear me, can you drop a comment and we can continue where we stop? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, apologies. My internet just tripped off. I had to go reconnect it back. So let's see where we are. I share my screen. Okay, so before I continue, I hope you are enjoying the class and you're understanding the concepts behind it. If you have questions, you can always drop in our Discord channel. Make sure you follow our Discord. Let me see if I can bring up the Discord all over again. And then I'll drop the link for people that didn't join early. Discord is updating. Nice. Just a minute. I'm going to drop Discord now. Okay, so here, let me grab the link. I want to edit never. Okay, and I think we have 55 people on our server now, so make sure you join. All right, so let's continue. So we talked about immutability, and we talked about how things do not change. For some reason, my internet the other time messed up. Okay, so I said if you want a variable to be mutable, to change, you can use var. So, and then I said, yes, you have 3,200, and for some reason, you want to set your new balance as 5,000, and then we save that. Oh no, why is it taking billions of years? Do I need to run this thing again? Let me move this into Dartpad and then run it from here. Okay, you can see that it's changed to 5,000. I really want to use FluttLab because a lot of you folks are using. The link is still invalid. Oh my God. Can you go to the announcement page and try the link there? It is not supposed to be invalid unless there are forces that doesn't want you to. Okay, so it's showing 5,000 here. Great. So you can see that I have been able to change it along the line, which is not supposed to be so. For example, when I'm using an app, for UBA, for example, your balance is your balance anywhere. If you go to the mobile, you go to the web. If you are broke on UBA, you are broke there. You are not supposed to change it unless somebody sends you money. And what you are going to do is you are going to add the money they sent to you and add it to this. And yes, that way. But inside your app, for some reasons, your balance should be your balance. If you have 50 naira in your balance is not supposed to change. So you are not supposed to be doing something like this unless you want it to be changed. To be changing. You don't know the you don't know the value at that time. So you are thinking that, oh, you can reset the value. You can see that it is not 3,200 that shows here. It is the new one that you have set. Okay, so let's go back here. Oh, by the way, this one is going to give us a dark screen because we removed all the core code, so I'm not supposed to see anything. Okay, so use const for values that are known at compile time. So let's give an example of that. So I can say constant pi equals to, what's pi? 3.14, right? 3.14. So I can now say, I can then say int radius equals to 4. So I can now say int area of circle. So let's say I want to calculate the area of a circle. Can I say area of circle is, remember the formula, pi r square, right? So I can now say pi times radius times radius. I think so. Okay. Now, look at the problem that you have run into now. So I've said pi is 3.14. And I'll set radius times 2 here, radius times radius. Now, it's going to give you an error because pi is double. You have 3.14 here. So now the compiler is already complaining to us that what do you mean? You want to multiply double with integers, which is allowed, but now you are saying that the value should be int. How does it make sense? It's now complaining. So to fix that, we are going to set this one as double, because of course it makes sense, because your answer is going to be double anyways. So let's set it here. And then when we save that, and you can see that it returns a double here. So basically, we have set this pi as constant because we know the value ahead of time. We know that it does not change. It can never change. It will never change. So let's do something like that. So you have 3,200 anywhere, everywhere in your UBA account. Even if you go to UBA Marina, UBA in Lagos, there's UBA in UK now. You go to UK and say, I am I am John Doe. Can you check my balance? They will tell you that the balance that you have is 3,200. And there's nothing you can do to change it unless someone sends you money. So now the balance in your UBA savers is 3,200. So you can see that we cannot change it, you see. You can't assign a new value to it because you have already told it that this value can never change. Okay. So I'm just going to print this. You have questions? Okay. No questions. It looks like you guys are still here. And then we use final for values that don't have to be known at compile time, but cannot be reassigned after being initialized. So also final cannot be reassigned. Have that in mind. But then you don't know the value at compile time. So you cannot use const because you don't know the value of compile time. But you cannot reassign the value. So once you assign it, you cannot reassign it. So let's see. Okay, you can see. So now what final does is that you can only set it only one time. You can only set it at one time. Once you already set it, you cannot reset it again. So you can say final. it's already telling us that we should use. Well, let's say we want to set it as 320. It cannot, it doesn't allow us here. So that is that. And then we have something concept called nullability. And what it means is that so in the past, if you don't initialize a variable, that is going to set it as now. Oh, I need to off this code now. Oh my God. That is going to give it a null value. So, and it's going to break your app at some point because you don't, sometimes you forget and sometimes you don't know that it's null. I need to ban somebody. Person is, I can do it right after the class. And if you don't declare it, that will automatically tell you that it's null. But then there's a new version from that too that does not allow you. So you have to tell it that, intentionally tell it that, oh, I want this to be null. If not, because that means you know what you are doing. So let's look at, for example, not everybody has a middle name. So you can, so let's look at, let's give, so let's say we have, let's go back. Let's say we have a string of first name. And then we say Timmy, and then string of last name. And then we say Ajiboye, which is my name, in case you guys don't know me. Okay, so now, not everybody has a middle name. So you can, if you now say middle name, now this middle name is going to be null because I have not, it doesn't even allow me because it's Flutter 2. So now, so you can see that it doesn't allow me, it's telling me that I must assign it. But then not everybody has middle name. So how can I fix this? By using a null operator to tell the computer that, oh, we don't, some people don't have middle names, some have middle names. So it can be null, or it can have a value. It may not have a value. So in the front of your variable of the type that you have declared, you can just use this null operator here. So now, if I save this, it's going to show null here, because we have already told the compiler that, oh, the middle name may be null or not. So in future, you can then set the middle name and say, my middle name is Tayomi actually. And when I save that, you can see it shows Tayomi. But this can be null, this may not be null. If you, let's remove this. So if you don't set it like this, and you still want to force the computer to let it show anyways, there's something we call this operator. Is it the bang operator that they call it? You can add it, and it's already even complaining here that this operator will have no effect because the receiver can't be null. So once you don't put this null operator there, you are telling the compiler that this guy can never be null. So that means you have to assign it before. So let's put it here. But You can also add this bang operator to force the compiler to show it. And in later classes, I'm going to show you how to effectively manage null, do null safety. But for now, it may be a little bit tricky for you, and so that you'll not be seeing red screen updates. Is it red screen? Yeah, red screen. Okay, so I'm going to skip null aware operators now because it may be a little bit tricky. Okay, so we have control flows. So we are entering a bit more, you want to, let's say you want to do some action. I want to repeat the action over and over again, or you want to repeat certain line of code, we use control flows. So there are two control flows. We have conditionals and loop. Conditionals and loop. So let's say you have a, let's say you have a bucket. Let's draw our bucket. And then we have ewa, agbado, and all those things. Beans. They have, there's something called agbado for people that are not Nigerian here. And you have a whole lot of things here. So now let's say you want to, let's say you have another bucket. Let's create a bucket. Let's say you have another bucket here. And then you want to move ewa, agbado here. You want to move all these items here. How are you going to do it? Now, one way to do it is to look at the total number of items in this container and then use that one to move every item. Move this one, move this one, move them one by one into this one. So, but you have to write the code for that. So that's where control flows comes in. So it lets you dictate if you want to repeat stuff. So let's say you want to repeat a process. You want to write a process that will move every item from this container inside here. So that's where we have. But then let's look at conditionals first. So conditionals are the basic form of control flows. So it lets you decide if you want to do stuff. You can see that when I was explaining it, you see something like if. So now that brings us to if statements. So if you want to do stuff, if statement is the way to go. So let's look at how to do that. Someone is saying I can. I'm speaking high as I can right now. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Maybe you should get, yeah, you should get an headphone. Perhaps it's going to help. Okay. Yeah, because my God. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's go to control flow. Let's go back to UBA. We still have UBA. You have UBA account. So you have UBA savers. We've deleted available. I think I have it here. Yes. So let's copy that here. I hope everybody is. So we make this one. Okay, so now we go to if statements. So if statement basically tell you if you want a condition to happen, you want so you usually use if statement with your logical comparison equality operators. So let's say, okay, so let's say we are building a mobile app for UBA. Now, when you log into your UBA account, and then you enter into UBA app and say, I want to send amount to send. I want to send 5,000 naira to my brother that is going to school. Now, but you have 3,200. How does the computer deny you and tell you that there's no way you can do it? How can you have 3,200 and then you want to send 5,000? Are you trying to do fraud here? So they use basic stuff like the if statement to do something like that. So they basically what they will tell you is if the amount you want to send, if it's greater than your UBA saving account, please tell him, sorry, it's like it's like you want to it's like you want to let us do basic stuff. I wanted to record it, but you can't sorry you can't send money. So they use Nigerians don't tell you sorry, so they are say insufficient accounts, insufficient amount or something. But then there's something called else. So you can see if this one is happening, else. That's the other part of what should happen. So else, okay, now, so what have you written here? We are basically just saying that if the amount that you want to send is greater than what is inside your UBA savers account, you cannot send it. You have insufficient amounts. So we use if to tell you to control what you want to do. So let's save this one. What is it going to print? You see insufficient amounts. Insufficient amounts. Okay, so I'm going to do a quiz now, and I'll be waiting for your answer. And let's look at something. Now, you can add multiple statements in one. So how do you do that? You can still add another else if here. So let's say if the amount to send is equals to UBA saving account, you want to print okay. So now I'm going to change this amount to 4,000. Can you tell me what exactly this code is going to show? I want to see it in your live chat now. Can you tell me what do you think this is going to show? Um, let's see if I can copy this and put it in the comments. Oh, it doesn't format. Oh, someone is seeing my MVP. I'm using a fiber company actually. So yeah, people are saying insufficient amount. So let's see when we run it, if that's correct. Insufficient amount. Okay, so let's say this is 3,200. What do you think will be shown? What is the answer? Okay, because yeah, that's correct. Because why do you want to clear your account? You want to send the exact amount. How much? You know, Nigerian banks likes to deduct money. So you want them to your account to be empty. So let's just save that. Why do you want to clear your account? Basically. But let's say we now have 3,100. What does it mean? Let's say you have, and what will be your balance? Let's say I have, what do you think is your balance? Okay, that's interesting. Okay, good. So let's save that. Okay, so now there's another question. You have this print outside of here, but really we need to move it in one of these. You can see that there is a curly, is it bracket or braces? Curly braces here. You can see that after every else, there's a curly brace open and close. Else if, there's a curly brace open and close. If, there's a curly brace. So when this condition is fulfilled, it will do what is inside this curly brace. Likewise, this one. If any of these ones are not fulfilled, you're now going to do this one. So now, but I want to ask you a question. Where do you think we should move this one into? Is it curly brace 1, curly brace 2, or curly brace 3? Where do you think we should move it to? 1, 2, or 3? Someone says I should move it to, someone says 3, someone says I should move it into else if block. Interesting. Let's see. So you're saying I should move it here. Okay. You say we should move it to else block. Okay, so I think it would be good if we move it to the positive one. Makes sense. Because then when you have sent it, you'll be able to see your balance. Right. Like this has been sent. If I have 3,200, I should just see a prompt. Why do you want to clear your account? You want UBA to be broke. So yeah, good one. So let's move on. So I've done this. And then we have a while loop. So while loop lets you repeat code. So when you want to repeat something over a particular number of times, you use a while loop. So there are two forms of while loop. You have while, you have do while. The difference is that for while, the loop condition occurs before the code block, and do while, the loop condition occurs after. So let's just test this one. So let's use while. So let's remove this spring if, and I cannot say while, it's a keyword while I is less than 10. We can have the declare I equals to 1. So you can declare your I, and then you can print I. Don't worry, I'm going to explain this a bit. And then I plus plus equals to I plus 1. Let's make it simple like that. Okay, so what we have done here is, so now remember that and this, I say we have beans, agbado, orange, mangoes inside here. Now we want to move all the things here into here. But what we know ahead of time is that the number of things here is 10. So we know that the number of items inside this container is 10. So it makes it easier for us because we can say to move the items one by one inside here, you can just use this 10 and say, while this content is 10, be moving this one by one from this container into this container. So that's basically what we have done here. So I created a variable and said 1. And now use the while and say while this 1 is less than 10 items. It's less than the 10 items here. Just be moving it. So that means that when we run this code, it's going to be moving all our items 10 times. And each time it's going to be moving one item from here to here. So the first time it's going to move Ewa, move it here. The next time it's going to move Agbado and move it here. So you can see it's programming is interesting as long as you can relate it to real life stuff. So now do we run it? Let's run it. You can see 1 has been moved. Ewa Agbado has been moved. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we have 10 items. There's a problem. 10 items. But from our what you are looking here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 was moved. It remained 1. So that means that our code is not correct. What do you think we can fix in this code now? That we make sure that we move all 10 items from here into here. Do you know? What should we fix here in this code? Now, also in this line 12, what I did is I did I equals to I plus 1. Basically, what I'm doing is once it has moved, I will now add 1 here so that, so let's look at it now. So while I is less than 10, So look at it now. The first time it runs, it will say while 1 is less than 10. It will do this one. It will move 1. But then it will now come here. It will now add 1 here because I want it to go to 2. If I didn't add this one, it will just keep running. Because this condition is true as long as this I is less than 10. But I want it to it get to 10 so that it will stop. How to do that is that at any time, every time it moves, I add 1 to this I. So that the first time it moves this one, I add 1, so I becomes 2. 2 less than 10, it moves. When it gets here, 9 less than 10, 9 has been moved, then it adds 1. Then it now checks 10 less than 10. It doesn't make sense. It's not true because 10 is not less than 10. Then it stops. That's why it stops here. If I didn't increment this, it will just keep going, unless I close this one. You understand? So now, but the problem is we only moved 9 items. Now I want to make sure that I move all the 10 items right from this container here. So what do you think I should fix in this code to make sure that I have successfully moved all the items? I'm waiting for your comments. Interesting. Looks like it's only 5 people that is answering me in this class. Let's look at the code again. Okay. So, okay. Okay, so there are 2 approaches that people wrote. So we are going to look at the one that works. But I think both of them should work. So someone says I should start from 0, which makes sense because I started from 1, but if I start from 0, there's a good chance that it will start 0 has been moved, 2 has been moved, till 9 has been moved. And if I calculate all the items, it will be 10. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can start your counting from 0. The computer understands that. Makes sense. Now let's use the other scenario. Someone says I can use less than or equals to. So while I is less than or equals to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. This totally makes sense because when it gets to 10, remember that we used less than. So when you use the less than, it will not run it because it is not true. But because we use less than or equals to, if 10 is equals to 10, it's going to run it anyway. So we have successfully moved all our items. So yay! Good job, guys and ladies. Good one. Okay, so we can continue. I think we have done really good in this class. And okay, I'm going to drop this as your classwork. So I don't know, maybe I should drop it on Discord so that by tomorrow we remove it. So basically what I want you to do is you are going to rewrite this logic that we have here, this small one. You can rewatch this video to catch this assignment anyways. So, okay, thank God we are recording. So the question is, I want to move all the items in this container over here. So moving it from here to here. And I want to now, instead of using this algorithm, this is an algorithm, I want to use this do while. So you can check what this do while does. Remember that it said it's in do while the condition occurs after. That means that the do while loops ensure the code block runs at least one time. So I want you to write this code in do while. So I'm going to skip it in this class. Will you speak about widgets later on? Of course. You have 4 days. This is day 1. So day 1 is about that. We talk about widgets. We build a mobile app. I don't know why TJ is so. I think you're not patient enough for the class, because if you don't understand the Dart, that's why a lot of Flutter developers struggle, because they don't understand Dart. And if you don't understand that properly, you will struggle in Flutter because you'll be doing fine user interfaces, but your clients will be complaining about bugs that you have written in your code. So it's important that you learn that properly. Okay, we have 10 minutes to go. And I think I can talk about for loops. So in Dart, we use for loops to loop a predetermined number of times. Story for the gods. So let's say we can rewrite the code that we wrote in for loops. So let's see. So this is the syntax for writing a for loop. So because we have while here, you can write for like this. So now let's look at this. So let's convert this one. Let's say integer 1, I is less than or equals to 10. So instead of doing I equals to I plus 1, which is the same thing as I plus plus. So this I equals to I plus 1 is the same thing as I plus plus. So now we can do all this in the same line. So now we can say we can just say print, this one has been moved. So let's just delete this. And it's basically just doing the same thing. You see, 1 has been moved, 2 has been moved, 3 has been moved. We have written that in the same thing. So let's say you have maybe, so let's say we have a container, let's just call it a container, that has money inside it. So let's say we have $100 bills, we have $200, $300, something like that. And then we know that the number of items is 10 inside it. Now we want to calculate all the items, all the money inside here. How do we do that? You can basically write a logic for it, which is the same thing here. We know the number of items in that container is 10. Yeah. So we can declare a variable outside and we say sum, and we set it as 0. and we set it as 0. So now we can now say anytime we pick an item from this one, let's say we pick $100, we add it to 0. So we have sum which is 0. So when we look through inside here, we pick 100, we add it to 0. 100 plus 0 is still 100. Now we've gone in there and pick the second one. Remember we have 100 now. 200 plus 100 becomes 300. That way we'll be able to sum all the items in here. So we can say sum equals to sum plus I. So this sum, the 0, at the first instance that we run it, the first time, it's going to be 0 plus whatever is here. And then it goes again, this I becomes 2, but then we have 1 already, 1 plus 2, it adds like that. Okay, so this ideally does not solve our problem for picking out these items. Ideally, these items, we call it a list. But when we get to lists, I think we are going to do it a bit tomorrow. We're going to use half of tomorrow's time to finish up at that. Then we now go to Flutter properly. But then we can simply just loop this one. So we are adding I here to the sum, and then the sum keeps increasing. And when I save that, we are not printing. Okay, let's print, yes, let's print the sum. Let's print the sum here so that we'll see the sum. And we save, you can see it prints 55. So this is the total sum between 1 to 10. So if you say 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus, it will give you 55. So that's basically it. Okay, I'm going to stop here today. And tomorrow we are going to, we are almost done. We're almost done. I think we'll talk about lists tomorrow, which is important. Talk about maps, talk about, we work with the list, we talk about maps, function, and I think we can go building our apps from tomorrow. So thank God that we have 4 days, so we are still early. Thank you very much. If you have questions, now is the time to ask them. I hope you enjoyed this class, and make sure to join our Discord so that you ask your question, and you can invite your friends. You can share this class on your Twitter, help our ministry on Twitter. So you can share this link. Any item 7, you can always get it. Okay, so make sure you share this on Twitter. You can, my Twitter is, let me see, I'm going to drop my Twitter here, so you can always tag me to your tweets. It's important to spread the word. So I'm going to drop my Twitter here. If you have questions, you can ask on the Discord channel. Okay. The classwork, yes, I guess, yes, I will drop it on Discord, but you can watch this video again. You will be able to access this recording. Yes, you'll be able to access this recording. So make sure to follow me, tag me to your tweets. It will do a lot of good to me because I'm doing all this for free, so it will be good. So thank you very much for joining. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.